My name is Aaron Crosby Lyles, and this is News from the Can. Just poking around here. I happened to see a video about a meteor impact, a supposed meteor impact in Africa, and I went looking for it and really couldn't find it again. So I don't know when it was exactly, or, you know, if I can't find it, maybe it was something else. One of the stories said that it was actually a truck filled with explosives that might have went off that was from a nearby mine or something like this. So I don't know. But anyway, I happened to run across the American Meteor Society, founded in 1911. They've got a website here, and it's kind of interesting. So I thought I'd include it just because it looks really fascinating. Meteor activity and whatever, but that's not necessarily what I do. Just as a sort of like a periscope. You know, what else is going on other than Trump and COVID? Trump and COVID, Trump, COVID, COVID, Trump. Trump, COVID, COVID, Trump. And this is what else is just sort of like geologically speaking. Apparently, and I should have brought that up too, oil prices have bounced back from negative that they were last few days or so. Because I guess the Russians and the Saudis might have come to an agreement. So prices bounced back. And I looked at stocks, you know. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is still above 23,000. So I don't know what you call that exactly. A lot of people are out of work. 20 million people are out of work. But the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 and all of that other stuff, the NASDAQ, I think also, they're all up. I mean, they're in the green. So, you know, and 23,000 is like historically very high. I mean, it's the highest it's ever been. So, I just, you know, happened to come across my screen. I looked at it and I thought that's fascinating. But here's what else is going on. And you can check all the links are in the description. The USGS, U.S. Geological Survey, and they've got a website here. You can look and see what earthquakes are going on around the world, and you know, pretty much the usual suspects, except there's some interesting shit here. There's an earthquake right off of Yemen, and then of course Tajikistan, there was an earthquake, and you know, who knows what the hell that is. They could be like testing something in there, you know what I mean? This is that red line there is the plate boundary, and then there's one in Greece. You know, and they get timblers in Greece and stuff like that. I mean, this is a geologically active area. Greece, Italy, and so forth. Puerto Rico is still got these little earthquakes trembling in the same area. And it makes me wonder because, like, when you look at this is actually, there's a line of volcanoes that actually, these dots of islands here is actually, there's actually dots of volcanoes there. So, you know, it makes me wonder, is Puerto Rico, there's also a huge trench right there. It's like the deepest trench in the North Atlantic, I think. And it's like several miles, like 6 miles deep or some shit like that. I mean, it's like, it's a cliff, basically, going right over the edge. And it just makes you wonder, wow. And it's kind of deep over here on this side, on the southern side as well. You know, if the whole thing is just getting ready to slide right on in the Puerto Rico Trench. Right? Probably not. But it's interesting. It's like, well, what the hell's going on there? That's really fascinating. And if it did do that, I mean, you know, and the reason I think of these things is because, you know, this is like when it rains, it pours. You know, you can't just have the president that we have at the same time that you're having 100-year, well, it's probably more than that you're having a major pandemic that is coupled with a massive recession and a bunch of other stuff going on. There's got to be something else, you know. It's got to rain when it pours. So I just figured I'd look around and see what else is raining, you know, and that's pretty much what I'm doing here. So here you go. What was this? Oh yeah. Now here's something interesting. You see this area here. This earthquake just happened in the last hour. Tonopah, Nevada. Depth of 3.1 kilometers. That's pretty shallow. So it could be from fracking. But anyway, this is where it is. Give her that. That red dot there means that it just happened within the last hour. And you see all this stuff over here. This is a mining operation. And it looks like there's like a little, they're like growing some shit out. Somebody's growing something out there. That's kind of fascinating. But anyway, they got a little strip mine going on out there. You know, who knows what they're mining for. Could be uranium or something like that, or it's something that looks like it requires a water process. And they're like growing something here. But anyway, they just had an earthquake way the hell out there. So it could be from pumping something underground, some sort of effluent. Oh, there's something else there too. Look at that. Somebody growing something over here. Like they're growing shit way out there in the fucking desert. So they've got water. They got a well because they're growing stuff. So, you know, if that is from either depleting water or somebody, you know, because there's a mine right there. If these cats are pumping effluent down underground and it's causing earthquakes, that doesn't sound like a good combination there. People pumping water out to water things and... Oh wait, what's this over here? This is fascinating. Oh, what the fuck is that? It's like a neighborhood, man. Holy shit. Round Mountain Golf Club. They got a golf club? Holy shit. Wow, Round Mountain, huh? What is that, Fremont Route? Pablo Canyon Road? That's fascinating, isn't it? I guess that must be the golf course right there. You know, little community center. Probably got a bowling alley and shit. Ah. That might be a nice place to live. I don't see any swimming pools. Nobody's got a swimming pool. It's like a little town out in the middle of nowhere. What the hell is this? See, that looks like fracking right there. Or something. Some sort of mining operation of some sort. Could be uranium, could be shit, who knows? Copper, iron, gold, who knows? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what's in that area. So anyway, that's a fascinating discovery. And there was an earthquake that was just out. It's been over an hour because that just turned orange. So that's where it is right there. Eureka's way up here. Fallon, Reno over here. Warm Springs, Tonopah, sort of out there in the boondocks, ain't it? So there's that. And this is another interesting, and of course this is going on probably all the time, but I just happened to see that this is in Idaho, just northeast of Boise. So this, you can barely see this line right here. That's Wyoming, and this is, of course, Yellowstone. So it's like right across from Yellowstone. This yellow here is a warning area. The orange is obviously more threatening, whatever that is, but this is part of the Yellowstone caldera area, I guess. There's a fault that somebody just discovered about 10 years ago. Glenn Thackeray, a geoscientist at Idaho State University, had already encouraged people near the epicenter to prepare for an earthquake a decade ago. So a decade ago, Glenn Thackeray saw this coming. Link is in the description. You can see some debris has fallen across the road. Rock slide, Highway 21 near Loman, Idaho, after a 6.5 magnitude. So they had, I think, a 6.9 came through. But anyway, there's a bunch of temblors there, and that's because there's sort of a minor fault running through that area. But, you know, dude warned about it. Thackeray warned about it. And sure enough, it happened 10 years after he warned about it. And now it's just sort of rumbling. And that, right, like I said, that's Yellowstone right there, right here. That's at the edge of Wyoming. Going from there, let's look at the atmosphere. So the COVID pandemic has been going on for a while now, and governments have been shut down, principally governments in Europe, Spain, France, Italy, places like that. So I guess the tenders are maybe not able to tend as well as they would like to as far as your Copernicus satellite is concerned. That's what this is, Copernicus Atmospheric Monitoring Service. And this is coming back. I'll show you a slide of the first thing that I caught like about back last fall. But anyway, you can see this band of CO2 right here. And let me cut to the chase here, just in case you're wondering or worried. So this is a band of CO2, a heavy band of CO2, and they've got it back. They had it at 600. It's in parts per million. So that red right there is approaching 1,000 parts per million. That band goes around the equator. Now, before you freak out or lose your marbles or whatever, if you go over here to Climate Reanalyzer, this is the 2-meter temperature anomaly with 1979-2000 baseline. And you can see, well, there's it's a little slightly elevated in some areas, but, it's not compelling, folks. There's a lot of blue on that map. And, again, those very frightening looking red areas up here in the northern reaches and down here in the south, down in Antarctica and up in the Arctic Circle, that's snow. See that blue right there? That's all snow. The only different place there is right here. There's no precipitation there. So there could be a clear area there and they can have some, some snow. Fascinatingly, okay, this is the total column of ozone, which I kind of like to keep an eye on to sort of compare and see what's up with stuff, but see this little blob right here, little circular blob, which sort of kind of coincides with this deal here. That's right. This is I guess what you would call an upper level low, and these are forming like pretty regularly now. And I guess maybe they do that this time of year or various times a year. What's fascinating about this is how cogent that circle is there. I mean, that looks like sort of, that's very organized. And the low, it's also a lower level low. And you'll notice that there's upper level match with the lower level here and here. This is a lower level here. Let's see what's up with that. Yep. See that? There's a lower level. So that's kind of fascinating. And, indicative of like hurricanes and things like that, sometimes they'll have a high pressure dome over top of them because it's rising air. But that's not the case here because this temperature is actually, you can see that there's a vortex working there. There's a vortex here. You got some snow associated with that one. It's the temperature is anomalously cool there, right? There's that. There's your anomalous temperature, which is right there. Let's see where the other one is. Right, there's that one. And it's anomalously. So that tells me that it's sinking air, not rising air. When you look at the geopotential height, which is what this is, these orange areas, is basically rising air, essentially. And these are probably indicative of air that's sinking, cold air sinking. And then there's this deal here. You see something here all the time. Right above Algeria, well, right adjacent to Spain, but above Morocco, somewhere in there. That area, this area right here, you'll see this. You'll see one of these. It's an upper level low. Yeah, it's kind of a lower level sort of something. And it is got some rain associated with it. And it's cool there. Anomalously cool. And the fascinating thing is that this blob of total column ozone is associated with. Yeah. So there's that, and that's kind of sort of what's going on. Stocks are bouncing back, oil prices are bouncing back. a lot of people are still having a hard time out there, and they keep saying it, they keep repeating it, and it's good. And I'm going to do more about this soon. I've had to do some other things, work on a garden and that kind of stuff. But the second wave of the Spanish flu killed pretty much everybody who caught the flu. Now, this is according to a guy who did a TEDx. I'm gonna delve into that a little bit deeper maybe next time. But I wanted to get a peek at other stuff that's going on, just sort of kind of put up the periscope, And again, here's this, just got to drive this point home. There's this big band of CO2 here, and this is probably, most likely, as I've done many videos about this is probably from methane coming from fracking. It's coming from all the players. Canada, United States, Russia, and whoever else over here in Northern Europe is drilling for natural gas, oil, everything else. Obviously, the Middle East. And of course, the biggest producers of methane in the world are rice fields in India and China. And but there it is, the big band of CO2, which is something I was not expecting. I was not expecting to see that. I was kind of surprised to see a band of CO2 that was persistent over the equator, and that at the same time you would see basically nominal temperatures. Now, I will say you can kind of sort of see a little bit of a line there, right? There where it's a little bit high, but all that white there, that's nominal. When it's white on the map, those are nominal temperatures. And the blue is below average for the 1979-2000 base. It's below the 1979-2000 baseline. So the white is nominal, dead on the middle of 1979-2000. And all the red areas there, that's precipitation. Pretty much, except for there's an area right here where it's not. And that's, dead in the middle of Kazakhstan. So it's actually kind of running up through here to Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, the lower part of Uzbekistan, right above Afghanistan. It gets very hot in Afghanistan. It doesn't seem to be a lot of precipitation involved with that. But that's that's average for that area. And that's it. My name is R. Crosby Lyles. That's kind of sort of a look around, a peek around at some other stuff that's going on. Like I said, and I can't find it, apparently there was a meteor impact sometime recently in Africa. I saw it one time. I was unable to find it. Maybe you guys can. There was some discussion that maybe it was an explosive truck. I don't know. But this, and the links are in the description, this is the American Meteor Society, and they've been around since 1911. So it looks like a pretty interesting spot here. I don't really spend a lot of time doing that. It's not really my wheelhouse. My wheelhouse is basically become atmospheric, what's going on with the atmosphere. And, it's a whole lot of nothing, frankly. One of the outfalls of one of the things about carbon dioxide, just to reiterate, is that carbon dioxide coalesces water droplets, produces rain and fog and stuff like that. And the same may be true of ozone. This is the total column of ozone, and this is carbon dioxide at 50 hectopascals. The reason I show these two at these different levels is because this is the most interesting to me thing going on, because this is 1,000 parts per million in a cogent band around the equator. And why nobody's really talking about it? It's because it's like, there it is, guys, and and there's your anomalous temperature. So everybody can basically just shut the fuck up now. I'm sorry, that's kind of how it is. There it is. Boom and boom, and now you can just basically shut the fuck up. Because the world ain't happening. Sorry. So, which I guess is good news. And that's it. And that's, that's what the over a month into a global shutdown, global industrial shutdown, with no air traffic and no, traffic to speak of. It got cooler. It's anomalously cooler. You can argue about that any way you want, but that's not that whole argument about the aerosol masking effect. So, okay, when you stop, when industrial activity stops, then temperatures rise, and that didn't happen. So, okay, didn't happen. Look, if you ever watch any atmospheric scientist of any stripe, atmospheric chemistry professors, notable people, they are like totally unbothered by what's happening in the atmosphere. They're like giddy because they get paid, they get money to research stuff because there's supposedly something going on, and that's great, and we should do that. Why is everything going to be about, the holy dime? You know what I'm saying? Give them money. We should know what's going on. It's a good idea. But my whole point is the thing to really, to watch out for is acid rain. Watch out for your nitrogen dioxides. Total column, and you can see there's a band there. And your sulfur dioxide. Wow, look at that. Look at that. See that band where that CO2 was, which is from methane. It's kind of depleted there in the middle. That's fascinating. This says something about how the air moves in the atmosphere. So, but yeah, you can see the usual notes. Mexico and China. And I think there's a lot of volcanoes over here. So, but that's really the thing to watch out for is your sulfur emissions and your nitrogen emissions, because that's where you get your acid rain from, and that's the damaging stuff. That damages everything: crops, forests, oceans, lakes. We had so many dead lakes in up here in the Northeast that it's ridiculous. There's nothing growing in them. No fish. They were beautiful. Nice blue-green, clear, perfectly clear lakes, but there wasn't any, they were dead. Dead don't get it. Not at all. So anyway, that's all I got. My name is R. Crosby Lyles. Thanks for watching. Love you guys. This too shall pass. Cover your ass. Don't be stupid, Anything you get from the store, like we got some chicken the other day and I forgot to put it in the microwave, not good. Get some food from a restaurant or, takeout, whatever. Put it in the microwave. Heat it up. Open your windows, let some sunshine in. UV sunlight kills bugs. Kills, things like that. Just simple stuff, Wear a mask outside. Let's nip this thing in the bud. Seriously. And because that's what we got to do. We don't want this to drag on any longer than at all possible. That's what I'm thinking anyway. So, but that's it. My name is R. Crosby Lyles. Thanks for watching. Take care. See you. Bye.